Yeah, time now on 25 minutes to 12. Who have we got on? Oh, from the civil contractors, I've got Phil Cassell on the line. Hello, Phil.
G'day, John. How are you?
I'm pretty good, Phil. What are you talking about, Phil?
I've got a bit of an exclusive for you and your listeners today. I've been listening now for some time about the EIS on the dredging project and what's happening or not happening and how the process is going and the government inaction and so on and so forth. Well, I thought it was about time just to update your listeners and this community of what's happening. We approached the Treasurer in early December and threw a red herring in the basket by introducing an alternative land-based site, and that's the site out there at Yorkeys Knob, the old Prawn Farm. It took the Treasurer 45 minutes to get me and my team in front of Ports North to pitch the idea. Now, the EIS may or may not come out on time, we don't know, but the point is that we threw a proposal to the state government at very short notice that has the potential to save up to $40 million off the project. Now, in all honesty and in all good conscience of anyone, if you're the Treasurer of this state and someone threw a herring at you that said you can save $40 million, due diligence is you've got to follow through and see exactly what we've offered. Is it viable? And can it actually save that money? And this is the process. And it's our fault that the EIS, and it's not Ports North, it's not the consultants, and it's certainly not the state government. We caused this to happen simply by throwing up this alternative site at such a late time in the process, but with a significant, if it was a couple of $1 million saving, you'd probably brush it aside. But the potential to save up to $40 million off the project, they really had no choice but to start to look at it and follow through on it. And the Treasurer, being the Treasurer, of course he's going to try and save the state $40 million. That's $40 million that could go towards a bloody overpass or something somewhere else here in the state.
Beaches,
so
exactly.
Just to update the listeners and to update the friends of the port, and I'm a member of that, and just update everyone, it's not the state government or Ports North or the consultants or anyone else holding up the CIS or stuffing the system up. It was only early December that I spoke to the Treasurer and we threw this site up, and we think it does meet all the criteria and all the potential and all the environmental. In fact, we think it's a far safer because it's all ponded and it's controllable. But again, you can't just say, well, we'll take your word for it, Phil, and tick off on it. There has to be due diligence. There has to be exploration of the proposal. And I believe we've got a meeting within the next couple of weeks with Ports North, and we'll know then, and the environmental people, and we'll know then whether this proposal can stack up or whether we've just bloody stuffed the system up by delaying it 6 months, or whether we've got a real viable option here and a viable saving. So there's an exclusive for you, John. Just to update everyone, it's not the state government or the Treasurer holding it up. It's not Ports North or the consultants. It was me. I stuffed it up by throwing this proposal up.
Well, let me ask you this. Those ponds out there at the old Prawn Farm area, I mean, would they have the capacity to take 1.5 million cubic metres?
We can take about 1.5 million cubic. There are some minor adjustments to be made to it, but the situation we've got out there is we could fill one pond. If there's any dilemmas or any mishaps or anything, it's fully contained. It can't go anywhere, and we can simply move to the next pond. We've got big dewatering ponds there to treat all the material, all the water and stuff. So we feel, in our opinion, this is a more controlled, safer option for a land-based fill. And at the end of the day, we'll cap that site, and it can be a biosecure tank breeding farm, or it could be recreational land, or it could be anything. But that's what happened, and that's where we're at with the with the processes. So if people want to throw stones at someone, tell them to throw stones at me. I'm the one who stuffed it up.
Because you're land-based fill.
Well, we can take it there. We believe we can take it there. They can pump it in there. We can manage it, treat it, and it's all safely contained. It's an area at the moment that really isn't, it's underutilised. There's worries about, the white spot and the prawn drifting in and all sorts of horrible things like that, which is making prawn farming probably not that viable. And what are you going to do with all that land out there if you don't fill it and cap it? It's simply just going to be, bloody ponds and mud and and rubbish. So
Very
we thought we'd thrown a very good proposal, and the Treasurer, of course, $40 million lured him straight into the game to get us on the table, but the consultants and the environmental engineers in Ports North have a process that they have to follow to rule us in or to rule us out.
Excellent. This has been very interesting, land-based Phil Cassell. And
that's where we're at.
We'll keep our fingers crossed. Thank you, Phil Cassell from the Civil Contractors. 20 minutes to 12.